A lot of you guys want those high credit limits, but most of you will never get them because you keep making amateur mistakes. It's either you guys aren't applying for the right credit cards, or maybe you're just not going about it strategically, and that's why you guys have low credit limits. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is showing you guys 5 big mistakes people out there usually tend to make when it comes to getting high limit credit cards. And hopefully by the end of this video, you guys know what mistakes to avoid, so that way you guys can finally get those high limit credit cards that you always wanted. So if you guys want to know what these 5 big mistakes are, then make sure to watch this video all the way to the end, so that way you, sir or ma'am, do not miss out on any good financial information that can help you out. If you're already subscribed, then welcome back. But if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Ismael Sandiford, and you are now watching Just Money, where we talk about financial related topics such as personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics. So if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay, so jumping right into it, the first big mistake people make when trying to get high limit credit cards is you guys are starting out with bogus credit cards. I've seen plenty of people out there, especially teens or people in their early 20s, apply for either a Forever 21 credit card, a Target credit card, or even something like a GameStop credit card. If this is you, you guys need to stop doing this. And I say this because 9 times out of 10, they're going to give you an extremely low credit limit compared to where if you would have got a credit card somewhere else. And I've seen this personally with young adults quite a few times. I'm actually going to let a video play right now of me interviewing somebody that had a Forever 21 credit card and her telling you guys what her credit limit was, so you guys know I'm not lying.
My first credit card was a Forever 21 credit card, and you best believe I wasted it in Forever 21.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
A lot of clothes.
And my limit was only $100, mind you. So
really?
Yeah, that whole $100 was gone. Yeah.
So as you guys can see, this young adult had what I would call a bogus credit card that had a low credit limit that was only $100. Now, it's okay that she made this mistake because we were all young once upon a time. I mean, I myself have even made mistakes in the past, but if you guys are watching my channel and you guys watch it like pretty consistently, then you guys should not be making this mistake, so don't make it. And also, the thing about having a credit card with a low credit limit is when you guys apply for another credit card, they're going to look at something called your comparable credit. These credit issuers are going to see what other credit issuers gave you for a credit limit in the past before, and they're going to base their decision mostly off of that. So if you guys have a $100 credit limit, then they're probably going to give you the same or something roughly around that area. So stop applying for bogus credit cards. But the second biggest mistake when trying to get high limit credit cards is people are not getting credit cards with credit unions. If you guys watch my channel, then you know how heavy I push credit unions because they're literally here to serve you guys versus actual banks. 9 times out of 10, if you guys get a credit card with a credit union, especially if it's your first credit card, you'll get a way bigger credit limit compared to where if you would have gone somewhere else. And I say this because credit unions are actually very generous with their credit limits compared to other financial institutions or even other credit issuers out there. All you really have to do is build a relationship with a credit union before you guys actually apply for a credit card with them. Because by building a relationship with them, ladies and gentlemen, that particular credit union is now inclined to give you a higher limit on the credit card that you're applying for with them. And they'll still approve you for a high limit credit card despite you having a lower credit score. So don't sleep on these credit unions, guys, because I don't talk about them for no reason on my channel. But the third biggest mistake that people out there tend to make when trying to get high limit credit cards is they're not applying for credit limit increases when it's time to. You guys need to apply for a credit limit increase every 6 months with credit issuers that will actually do it with only a soft pull to your guys' credit. The reason why you guys want to do this is because, like how I said earlier, these credit issuers are looking at something called your comparable credit. So if you do a credit limit increase on one of your other credit cards and let them report back to the credit bureaus that you have a bigger limit now, the new credit issuers are going to see this when you guys apply for a new credit card. They're going to see what your recent bigger credit limit is, and they're going to give you a credit limit of around that range, or even in some case scenarios, something bigger. So I would recommend to do a credit limit increase on all your guys' credit cards that will do it for a soft pull every 6 months. Let that report, and then you guys apply for the new credit card. Because again, by doing this is going to strengthen your guys' chances of getting a credit card with a higher credit limit now. But also really quick, if you guys are finding any of this information helpful, if you guys could do me a favor and hit the like button, I would really appreciate it because it really helps me out a lot, and then it's also a dope way to help support the channel. But anyways, moving on to the fourth big mistake that people tend to make out there when trying to get high limit credit cards. The fourth big mistake that people out there tend to make when trying to get high limit credit cards is they're applying for a Capital One credit card for their first credit card. A lot of the time, people apply for Capital One credit cards because they're pretty easy to get and they're new credit friendly, especially if you don't have a good credit score. At least for the most part, if you're getting one of their starter credit cards. So a lot of people tend to get these credit cards, but they don't do their research on them. For one, I would personally never get a Capital One credit card because they pull from all 3 credit bureaus, which is a huge mistake if you guys are trying to credit card stack, but I'll talk about more of that in a separate video. But for 2, most people that are new to credit that have a Capital One credit card, they have a low credit limit and it usually always stays low. And the reason why I say this is because to get a credit limit increase with Capital One, you have to be using the card religiously. You have to be using it religiously and you have to be paying it back every month very consistently. Because best believe if you guys are not doing this, and they're not going to increase your credit limit and it's always just going to stay low. I personally have a really close friend that's had a Capital One credit card for over a few years now, 2 Capital One credit cards, and he's always had a $500 credit limit on both of those Capital One credit cards. Like, it's literally never gone up. The only high limit credit card that this particular friend of mine has is going to be from a credit union, which I just talked about earlier. But as far as the Capital One credit cards that this friend of mine has, they're so low he doesn't even want to use them anymore. And if you guys do not use your Capital One credit card, then you know they're not going to give you a credit limit increase. So I would either do one of two things. One, I would just simply stay away from Capital One credit cards. Or two, if you guys are going to get a Capital One credit card, then make sure you just do it very strategically and just stay on top of it. But the last biggest mistake that you guys want to avoid when it comes time to getting high limit credit cards is you guys want to avoid having recent hard inquiries on your guys' credit profile before you guys actually apply for a new credit card. A lot of people like to apply for credit cards back to back, which is actually very bad to do if you guys are not doing it correctly. And when I say not doing it correctly, there's actually a certain way to do it, but I'll talk about more of that in a different video. But anyways, the reason why I say not to have any recent hard inquiries on your guys' credit profile is because that can actually affect what your credit limit is going to be. And I say this because some of these financial institutions, they are inquiry sensitive. Now, some of these financial institutions won't be inquiry sensitive, which is some financial institutions out there. So what you guys can do in order to avoid this is try not to have any recent hard inquiries on your guys' credit profile within the last 3 months, but really preferably within the last 6 months. If you guys do this, then you guys are definitely going to be on your way to those high credit limits. That's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. I hope you guys found value in any of this information as always. Let me know in the comments below if you guys ever had a credit card before that you regretted getting. Let me know. I would love to know. Don't forget to get your free stock at Robinhood. That could potentially be worth all the way up to $200 when you guys use my link in the description below. And also, if you guys are looking for a high yield savings account, I personally use SoFi, so that's what I would recommend using. If you guys use my link in the description below, you can potentially earn all the way up to $325 of free money. So I definitely wouldn't snooze on that while the offer is still available. And also really quick, I do offer one-on-one consultations. If you guys would like to speak to me personally, the link is always going to be in the description below. But if you guys want the chance to win a free 15-minute consultation with me, then comment the word free game in the comments below and send an email to my business email stating what you guys would like to talk about. I do pick a winner every Monday. But if you guys made it to the end of the video, then I truly do appreciate you guys. We just hit 61,000 subscribers at the time of this recording, so I do appreciate all who watch. I do post weekly videos for those that don't know, and if you guys haven't yet already, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't yet already, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that way you guys get notified every time I post a new video. And again, we talk about personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics. So if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. We talk about how to get high limits on your guys' credit cards, how to boost your personal credit, how to obtain business credit. We talk about real estate. We talk about mortgage loan programs. We talk about all that. So this is your one-stop shop. And also really quick, for those out there that don't know, I'm a licensed real estate agent and a licensed mortgage loan originator. So if you guys are trying to purchase or sell a home, all my information is always going to be in the description below. I'm located in Southern California, so if you guys are trying to purchase or sell a home, all my information will always be in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.